Okay. President William Ruto spoke earlier on this political realignments, and also the Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, and this is what they had to say. Listen.
Tuunganishe Kenya. Ndio tupange mambo ya kilimo tuondoe njaa. Tupange masomo ya watoto wetu tuondoe ujinga. Tupange uchumi wa Kenya tuondoe maskini. Na msijikwe na wasiwasi, hawa wengine nitawakaranga hapa mbele watashangaa.
Ati wanafanya mikutano ya kupanga ukabila. Hao jamaa waambiwe sio ati atuko ready, we are ready for them. Siku ya kampeni ikifika tutawamalizia asubuhi na mapema. Kweli si kweli?
Do you still hold the ground that President William Ruto will lose the election in 2027 even with support from Raila Odinga?
First, campaigns have begun. I don't know what the Deputy President is talking there. He's addressing a rally, a political rally. They have already begun campaigns for 2027. Let me say one thing about what my colleagues have said. I will answer your question. As senators, really, there are things that I don't expect a senator to say. If the document says, Hillary, that we must protect devolution so that there are no clawbacks, if the national government wants to undertake county functions, there is a procedure.
CDF.
There is a procedure for that. You cannot be supporting it, and yet you are sworn to defend devolution, devolved units, and their governments. Thirdly, Trevor, if indeed Ogenda was honest about dealing with the question of marginalization, there is a fund established under this constitution called the Equalization Fund. He would be pushing for the national government to honor its obligations under that particular fund, so that all of us who have faced marginalization, and I've said, all of us who support Raila Odinga, we have been marginalized, and Raila Odinga is a leader of all of us. Let us also not forget William Ruto's role in that marginalization. In the past 10 years, it is this same William Ruto who was Deputy President of the Republic. So when that marginalization was happening, as they are saying these days, how has he suddenly become clever? Where was he in 2013, 2020, when all these road projects were being taken to these other areas? When we in ODM were being marginalized by the Jubilee administration under his stewardship together with the former president, where was this cleverness? Where was this cleverness that we are hearing from here? Now, to your question, lastly, there is something he said here that the president has championed the devolution. Last year, in fact, it was the last financial year. We were shocked as a Senate. We passed a bill, the Division of Revenue Bill, allocating 385 billion Kenyan shillings to county governments. The president brought it back with a memorandum suggesting that we as a Senate cut that allocation back to 380. This is the same president who stood up recently and said, awachiwe barabara za county. The constitution under the 4th schedule defines 2 levels of roads, national roads and county roads. A supporter of devolution cannot stand up and say, muniwachi hizi barabara. Hillary, let us be honest even in these discussions, that if there is an enemy of devolution, you say this is an enemy of devolution because of his own conduct and his words. If it were not for us as a Senate to stand up and say we cannot send money that is less than what we had allocated, even in the previous financial year, counties would not have gotten this 387. That was not William Ruto. It was me as a senator sitting in the mediation committee with the National Assembly, fighting for those resources as I swore to do. To your question, Trevor, ODM, we have said repeatedly, including as recently as when we were in Mombasa, for an event there with Honorable Raila Odinga, that ODM exists to fight for political power in these democratic processes. We still intend, we have not given up our quest to lead this country. So we will be in the field to face whoever it is else will be there, including President William Ruto. And the natural consequence of that is we will make him a one-term president, because we want to grab that power from him, so that we can do the things that we are saying we believe in. That is my straight answer. And it doesn't matter how cleverly you people frame this question. My views are never going to change, Trevor, because I still continue to receive feedback that even with this so-called,
call it broad-based. There is no harm. Call it broad-based.
This so-called development tours. He is still facing a lot of resistance. Tom Ogenda, my brother, let us focus on software issues as well. I was explaining to Oburu, because he said, which other rights do you want, you people? If you have gotten roads, if you have got... That's not all it is about. You know, there are software issues in this country. I have said here that we want a democratic state, and which is what this document says. Unaona? Trevor, these people don't want to read this document, or they don't want me
But
to
I've read it.
A nation will not develop without reinforcing democratic governance and the rule of law. My brother, democratic governance is such that you cannot go after the BBC for just telling you that this is what happened. Why are you arresting young people for producing a film about events that we all saw? I was there in Parliament. Those things happened. The BBC is not fabricating anything. And in fact, all your media houses, including Citizen TV, covered these events. So why are you arresting people for just expressing themselves? That is running contrary to this document.
Okay. So you're confirming that ODM will field a presidential candidate?
I am saying this political party called ODM exists for only one sole purpose. We are not like Third Way Alliance, which exists to go to court. We exist to compete for political power. So ODM has not given that up. In 2027, we will field candidates for all positions.
A good one to be is just
just a comeback.